Blog Talk Radio.
Here we are once again, together as family, and welcome to all of you. We are very much in gratitude for all of your presence and your love and your heart. So let's go ahead and get started on our Zorra call. Our very special guest today is going to be Stuart Grant. Next week, we're going to be talking about projects with CJ. And so hopefully everybody is prepared for big things that are coming our way where we will be very busy. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring Zoraya in. Okay, here we go.
Hello, beloved gods and goddesses.
So before you get started, Zoraya, you want to tell people how you're doing today? How are you feeling, etc.?
Well, I've been on a diet to lose some excess weight, and I have lost. I actually went from 222 pounds to 213 pounds in like 4 or 5 days, I think it was.
It's probably a week.
Oh, not quite a week. Anyway, not quite a week, and I'm down
days.
to 213 pounds now. And it's for those of you out there that are fighting with your weight, Jane has the answer.
I don't have the answer. Yeah,
well, she's got the recipe. She has the recipe for this solution. And if you want it and you want to lose weight, I guarantee you will lose the weight. Because I'm a prime example of that. I know. So, many people have asked about Telos and what do they like there. So, our days in Telos, awakening to who you are, and I'm going to read that segment to you so you can get an idea of the Telosian people and who they are. We are awake in this early hour of dawn as it spreads across the earth, carrying the sweet vigor of God's scent of hope and love to humanity. It is the time of birds awakening and the first rays of dawn. The chirping in anticipation of a new day begin. Just as you anticipated a new birth into the world of earth to begin a new incarnation filled with hope and love for humanity, as you strive on your ever-widening path of evolution leading to the stars. In Telos, our days begin in meditation and prayer and hope as we conceive and create the beauty around us and in our lives, we bring all that we conceive to fruition. As we too climb the path of evolution, however, we are eons ahead of you. The difference is, our climb is heightened consciousness, for we are aware of our conscious movement in the spiral of life. We evolve consciously, and this is the difference between our civilizations. As more and more light envelopes the surface of the earth, you will find yourselves expanding dramatically in consciousness, attunement with Mother Earth, as she also expands her consciousness to envelope all living things that reside on her. Yes, she is a living being, and everything you do to her, you're actually doing to yourself. So think about that. Yes, she is all light, as you are all light. as all life is light in varying states of evolution and involvement. It is this spiritual involvement that is causing confusion and chaos on Earth plane, as those entities are not prepared to evolve, resist the energies that are pouring in. When light is resisted, the pain and confusion exist in the hearts instead. So open your hearts to the inpouring of light that is being sent to you, given to you in this divine dispensation to dramatically bring all life up to heavenly standards of light and love. We feel only love in our brothers and sisters on the surface. We understand your sacrifices and the endurance that is necessary to exist in surface conditions. But it won't always be as it is. You and all life are in the process of changing dramatically, as all life is changing its frequency to light, pure, white, golden light from the inner heart of God, or the inner earth. This is the light that you already are made of, although most of you have forgotten that. Many hundreds or thousands of lifetimes are coming together, and you are remembering. This is what awakening is all about. It is remembering who you are, where you came from, and why you are here. You came from the higher densities with a vision and a dream. And it is your dream that you are trying to remember, the dream of life, the dream of eternity that is eluding you. To remember, just focus on yourself and see yourself enveloped in the white golden light of perfection and beauty, and know this is you. Know that you are beautiful beyond words and perfect beyond sight. Then bring this beauty and perfection into your vision and see yourself standing young, tall, and serene and magnificent and immortal, because you are. There you have it. Put yourself off the mute, dear.
I was just thinking to myself as you were reading that, and I will tell you, we have been very blessed to have been in touch with Diane Robbins, who is the one who was able to download this information and bring forth to the world of the inspirations as well as the reality of what we don't know about, but we do through her works. So it's beautiful. Again, thank you, Diane, for your magnificent work. So again, if for all of you that are interested in go ahead.
In getting her book. If you're interested in getting her book, you want to go to www.DianeRobbins, capital DIANNE, capital ROBBINS.com, and go to her website that way and order from her. And she has some fantastic books. She's the spokesperson for the trees, for the elementals, for all the inner earth. I'm not talking about hollow earth, but in Telos, she is the voice of Telos, and she's very, very gifted. So
Absolutely.
You want to get her books
Thank you.
as quick as you can. Other books by Diane Robbins, City Beneath Mount Shasta in California, Messages from the Hollow Earth. Let's see, Call Goes Out to the Cetacean Nation, Tree Talk, and the Elemental Kingdom. So,
and the
Messages from the Crystal Kingdom. Messages from the Crystal Kingdom.
You.
Yes.
Right.
And that's the elementals. Those crystals that you wear around your neck are alive. Believe it or not,
Right.
they are very much alive. And when you wear them, it's another way of grounding yourself to the earth. If you're in a city and you don't have access to trees. But I was just told this, that when you wear crystals, that is a grounding to Mother Earth. So
right.
it's another way of grounding besides going out and hugging a tree. Anyway, so
okay. Beautiful. Beautifully said for today.
I think I'm good to go, unless you want me to read some tree talk.
No. Not today. We have a guest that's coming on board like very, very quickly. So we will do that. And we'll have Zaraya again introduce this wonderful individual, this being who is of the light, and how Billy met him, and of course, as they say, that, and then history began with the two of them and coming on our call.
The rest of the story.
The rest is history. Exactly. Thank you. All right. Just a couple of things that I wanted to mention to people, and that is, I know that many of you have asked. Many of you have asked for sessions with Q, and if I haven't gotten back to you yet, it's because as you understand, we've been pretty busy. So don't worry, because I am in the process of doing that. I will be doing that probably all day today. So just know that we'll see what we can do about trying to fit everybody in, as many as we can. All right, and that will be the end of it, just because, we have this coming week. There will be more to come in terms of one-to-ones with Q. All right? Now, in regards to Zorra, if you want to do sessions with Zorra, you may at this time. We used to do this years ago, and and of course, we felt that just being able to speak on the phone with all of you and getting some questions from a few of you, that seemed to suffice. However, we are now getting some people that would really like to have their own personal call with Zorra. So you could do that again, same way as with Zaraya. Just go ahead and text me and put down under subject session with Zorra. Okay, so that will be 30 minutes, and, the love gift for that is going to be $50. So, or whatever you'd like to be able to afford. And, of course, all of the healings that we receive from Zorra and Zaraya through the calls anyways is really beneficial for everyone. The last thing I wanted to say in regards to the call is, again, we want everyone to begin to really, really think seriously about the projects that you have in mind. Make sure that you have those very well detailed. We're going to be talking more about that next week with CJ, who's been inspired to be able to help in this regard and getting people together. So we'll be speaking with him then. And then lastly, as far as the RV, we'll ask Zorra about the RV and also about the spy balloons. So we're not going to discuss that right now, Zaraya. So in the meantime, I think, what time is it already? Maybe we could go ahead and, we still have like about 15 minutes before we bring Stuart in. So if you like, Zaraya, maybe you could talk a little bit about yourself. So we know that you were in area. I want to talk a little bit more about you. Let's not talk about Area 51. Oh, that's the other announcement I really wanted to be able to share with you today. So we are having a very, very special call on a larger scale. So it's going to be with Dr. Russell Johnson. Some of you may know of his name from a while back. He was the one that inspired us, along with a couple of different people, including Anne and a few others, to partake of a product called Rain International's products, which is the Soul and the green one, which people don't like because it's all green stuff, which is really good for you. Anyways, so it's Rain International. That's how we first knew of him.
You're talking about Core?
Yeah, Core, yes. So besides the product, Dr. Russell, we call him Russ, he has been a broadcaster in the United States for many, many years, and now he's expanding forth and he's in his 80s. It's amazing how much energy this individual has. But anyway, so we have a very special call out to more than just Blog Talk or more than just Zoom. It's going to be with many, many people. He will be interviewing Zaraya and Zorra. We'll see how much time we have, although they only have a half an hour for this call. It is going to be on tomorrow, and I don't have the link for that yet. Please, I will send them out to you today at some point, but I can tell you the time. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. And that call will be, I think it's with Russ Johnson, and I'm sure I'll have to check again the information so that everybody can get on and listen to that very special call the following week. So that's for this coming Monday, which is February the 6th. Now, Russell will also have another call with the subsequent year, the following Monday, so that it'll be Q who will be on this very special call also for about a half an hour. So Dr. Johnson is really all about bringing the truths out to the world, whatever area, especially in the area of UFOs and ETs and anything that's of a higher frequency, higher understanding. That is what he's going to be bringing forth on his shows. So we hope that all of you will be able to come and listen. And you will also know more when you go to his website, which I will also share with you sometime today. All right. So that being said, Zaraya, we'll get back to you again for just a little bit. Tell us a little bit more. Tell us about you growing up in Hollow Earth. Now, I know you're beginning to remember more and more. So about your life there, before it got wiped. So as you remember, let's talk a little bit, because every time you leave, if Billy leaves or Zaraya leaves her body, you'll find that she's always on top of a pterodactyl named Pam. So tell us a little bit about when you started understanding, and how did you get to know Pam? Tell us about that part of your life, which was always fun for you. We can't hear you, Zaraya.
I raised Pan from an egg, actually.
Well, how did you get the egg?
I found the egg. It had fallen from the nest, and it was in some soft grass, so it wasn't injured. But so I took the egg home and nurtured it until it hatched. And out came this little old pterodactyl baby, and so it was like. Oh, you know what?
Excuse me, Zaraya.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to. You'll have to explain what a pterodactyl is. Many people don't even know what you're talking about.
A pterodactyl is a dinosaur. It's a winged reptile, and it's got a long beak and a long protruding back of the head, goes way up too. And it's got a wingspan of when it's full grown, it's got a wingspan of about 60 feet. So they're quite large birds, but and they're not carnivorous.
60 feet.
60 feet. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how long is it then? If the wingspan is 60 feet, how long are they?
About 45 feet long.
So they're just as big as a building.
They're big.
Or a big house.
Yeah.
Okay, so
small.
everybody just remember
that's being full grown. I'm talking about being full grown.
Right.
Because in Hollow Earth there's no time, so they live to be extremely old. I should say mature, not old. Mature.
And the size of animals there and everything else are very huge. And the reason is
a house cat would be like a saber-tooth tiger.
So how is that possible that people can be and animals and everything that lives there can be so gigantic? How is that?
Mainly because the gravity is a lot less in the inside of the Earth than it is on the surface. The center of gravity is not in the center of Earth; it's in the center of your Earth's crust.
Okay, so let's.
As you go past the 400-mile mark, which is the center of gravity in the Earth in the Earth's crust, once you go past that, it gets less and less and less. By the time you get on the inside inner surface of the Earth, you weigh about a third what you would up here. So
and you grow immensely.
And you grow immensely.
Because
and of course your skin color will also change if you stay there long enough. It will change to a turquoise pallor as well.
Because
like a bluish green, because of the high content of copper in the water. But it's healthy.
Good.
It's very healthy water.
Okay. Go back to the pterodactyl. You've got 5 minutes.
Okay. All right. So I grew up with him. He was my protector and all that. So he was very, 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 very nice animal. But of course, there wasn't nothing to be protected from because everything's in harmony. I'm using words from the surface here, but he was my companion, okay, my animal companion, and very talkative too, extremely talkative, telepathically.
Excuse me, I don't. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to ask. Was he talking through his mouth or his beak, or it was telepathic? Okay.
No, he's telepathic, mind-to-mind communication, as all animals do. I know you want me to introduce Grant, which I will do right now.
No. I want you to continue.
No?
Go ahead.
Well, it's
Not
almost
yet.
time for
Go
him.
ahead. That's okay. I'll tell you.
6 minutes.
Okay.
So
anyway, go back to that little baby pterodactyl.
Little baby pterodactyl grew quite rapidly because of the nourishment that we fed him, and he was almost able to ride him within a month. That's how big he was, and how strong he was, and I basically just grew up with him, and I called him Pan, and why I call him Pan, I haven't figured that one out yet. But I just came up to call him Pan, so I did. And of course he has a brother also, which is another pterodactyl. But anyway, that's getting off track here. The beauty of this bird is so graceful when you see it flying. Some people on the surface have actually seen Pan flying. Occasionally, Pan will come out through the North Polar opening and do a sojourn around the Arctic region, and then come back in. He's free to do that. He's not restricted. So and of course, a lot of times when I change places with my dad, he's riding on Pan, and I trade places with him, so I'm riding on Pan, and sometimes it kind of catches me off guard, but it happens that way sometimes. And but Pan is a very graceful creature, very docile, very non-violent, and very vegetarian.
All right. So Pan is a pet, right? Do they?
Well,
how many?
We don't consider them pets.
So,
we consider them companions.
Oh.
They're not owned by any. They're not owned. They're not owned by anybody.
So Pan can come and be with you, and also take off and be with somebody else, and just kind of do his thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, that's really wonderful. So I know people are going to be looking up pterodactyl. So you can go ahead and do that.
P is silent. The P is silent.
PT.
So, PT.
PT.
Pterodactyl.
Right. Yeah.
But it starts out with a P. When you say pterodactyl,
right.
The P is silent.
Yeah.
But the spelling of it starts with a P.
Yeah. Okay, so whenever you speak about Pan, we're going to associate it now. We'll know, we'll understand, exactly who you're talking about this beautiful being you call Pan. Okay, great. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's, why don't we do this? Let me go ahead and bring Stuart in. And I just want to let people know that we weren't able to have him on our call 2 weeks ago, primarily because of the
problems.
Communications, right? And we understand how that works sometimes. So now we have full communication with him, and now we're going to be able to really have an opportunity to really talk with Stuart. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that, everyone, and we'll have
you bring
some
him
more
in, and
fun.
I'll do an intro. I'll do an intro for you.
Yeah, that would be great. All right. Thank you so much for that. All right. Okay, here we go.
Good morning.
Hey, hi, Stuart. How are you?
I'm good.
We're so happy we finally got you on our call. This is Jane. I've got Billy over here next to me. Well, not quite next to me, but anyways, I'd love for Billy to at least give you a proper introduction, and then away you go. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Zaraya, take it away.
Now, how I came to know Stuart, I was in Barnes and Noble, and he'll confirm this. Barnes and Noble, he was sitting at a table where the Starbucks part of the library is. And I was sitting there. I was standing in line getting what I wanted to get. But I looked over at him, and immediately I recognized him. Well, I recognized his appearance from a book I had read on American Indians, and the what this person looked like. I mean, a spitting image of Crazy Horse. The Crazy Horse, Indian up in the north. No, I'll let him explain that. Anyway, but he's a direct descendant of Crazy Horse, and I'm going to let him take it from there. He's also a shaman. I'll leave it at that. So, and here he is. Without further ado, Crazy Horse.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's a backstory to this. The backstory is I'd moved to Reno, and I lived in the northern part of Reno, and I got up about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I heard from my ancestors, go to Barnes & Noble, and I go, you got to be kidding me. So I threw on my jeans and T-shirt and shoes and got a coat on and everything because it was, I don't know, it was right after my birthday, I think, January 26th. I think it was right in maybe February 1st or something, maybe about this time, 4 or 5 years ago. So anyway, so I get in my vehicle, knowing and have learned not to dilly-dally around when I hear my ancestors say, hey, you're going to Barnes & Noble. And so it takes about 25 minutes or something like that from where I was staying and to the Barnes & Noble. So I'm listening to see if they wanted me to pick up a book. And nothing. There was nothing in the ethers. So I get to Barnes & Noble, go in, and I thought, well, I guess I'll get a chai tea, and went to the coffee tea bar and ordered a chai tea. And so I'm sitting there drinking a chai tea, and I hear, how are you this morning? And then that was Billy Zaraya. And that was it. the friendship started from there, and then Jane was looking at a book, and so she comes up, and who's this? And I said, well, I'm Stuart Grant, and so went to breakfast, and that was it. I mean, that was the starting of the friendship.
There you go. That was so beautiful.
He's also an actor with the Guild.
Yes.
He's been in several films and TV series. He was on Murder, She Wrote, and I'm giving a little more history of you here. And of course, he's also a screenwriter as well. So go ahead and take it from
very
there,
talented.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here, Stuart, if you will, just as far as a little bit more of a background for yourself. We know that you are part of the Native American Lakota tribe, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So tell us a little bit more about that history of you being that, and then how you developed from that to being a shaman, and then the crazy horse, and then you're being able to really connect with your ancestors. So that part would be great to start with.
Okay. Well, yeah, I quit my job. I was selling gemstones, so I quit my job, and because I knew I was going to be an actor. I just knew it. Well, there's a backstory to that. So I had just bought a '79 Lincoln Continental, and I was driving around. And I thought, well, I'll go to Heaven Can Wait with
Warren Beatty.
What's his name?
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty. And so I watched the film, come out to my vehicle, grab my door handle, and I hear from my ancestors, you're going to be an actor. And I go, oh, and that was 1979. Well, I didn't get to, that took 10 years later. It was about 10 years later. And, 89. Yes. So some things happened in between that time, that 10 years. And so that's what I was doing. I was selling gemstones for a company out of Denver, Colorado, and called up and said, I'm quitting. And so then things happened from there.
So how did you?
But anyway, back to my Lakota. So, I was working on Wagazi with John Candy, and that's where he died in Durango, Mexico. About, I don't know. We had about a week and a half left to go, and but I knew that he was sick. I mean, just looked at him and he was sick. And I said, John, you need to go to the doctor right now. You've got a jet, and you can be at, in Beverly Hills at your doctor in 3 or 4 hours. So he said, nah, we only got 2 more weeks to shoot. Well, 9 days later, he died. And so right after that shoot,
he didn't die. He ascended.
What?
He ascended, not died.
Well, yeah, okay. And so, yeah, I ascended. And so anyway, so I just got home, and I had been told by my ancestors that I was going to write a movie about Crazy Horse. And I said, nah, I don't know how to write. And, I got an F in English in high school. But anyway, I did. Well, yeah, to get on the football field and to get on the track, because I didn't do any sports in this wintertime, I had chicks that liked me, girls that liked me, to do my homework so I could get a C average every week, so I could get on the football field. So anyway, I got an F. Anyway, so I started writing right after Wagons East. I started writing 1994, Where Eagles Fly, The Life of Crazy Horse. And that's the title of the movie. And since then, I have done probably over 300 complete rewrites of the script, because I would go to ceremonies and somebody would say, did you know about this, or did you know about that? And so I would come back to the script and go, oh my gosh, I gotta rewrite 20 pages because of this, And so that's how I started writing this. I don't know. It's I'm married to it or something. I don't know. But anyway, people would say, "Aren't you tired of doing that?" And I said, "No, it's fun. It was fun to me. Still is fun, because I'm, rewriting dialogue, this and that, and everything, and so that's what I'm still doing right now. My script is open on the table as we speak."
Oh, that's beautiful. So how?
Tell them also. Pardon me, Jane.
Excuse me, Zaraya. Could I just ask him a question?
All right, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. How is it that you look exactly like Crazy Horse? How did that happen?
That's interesting. In the 70s, I met this early 70s. I think it was 73. I think it was. I met this lady, and she was giving classes on, I guess, spiritualism. I guess that's what we could call it. And that was in Denver, because I was raised in Denver, or I raised myself in Denver, whatever you want to call that. And so I met her. Betty Reeves was her name. And, my mom found her, really. My mom said, you need to go to this lady. So one Saturday, I called her up, and she said, well, come Saturday, and I can catch you up. So you're 4 weeks behind. And I said, oh, okay. So I went and to her house, and we sat down and we talked for I don't know, less than an hour. And she says, okay, you're caught up. And I said, 4 weeks, I caught up in an hour? And she goes, yeah, you're really very fast at picking up things, and you know things. And so anyway, that's how I started. And then she said, she called me up and she said, there's a potluck at somebody's house and I need a ride. So would you take me to this person's house? And I said, okay, who's going to be there? All these spiritual people that teach in Denver. And I said, oh, that ought to be fun. So we got there. This guy met us at the door, and he looked at me and he says, you're Crazy Horse reincarnated. Did you know that? And I said, really? No, I didn't know that. And that was it. So that's how I look like him.
You saw a picture of it. He showed you a picture, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. A friend of mine in Virginia City, Nevada, called me up one day. How many years ago was this? I don't know. 6 years ago, maybe. And so he said, so I said hello, and he says, so what are you doing? I said, Jim, what's going on? He says, well, I'm looking at a picture of you. I said, okay, what are you looking through IMDb? Or I don't understand. He goes, no, you gotta come over, because I lived in Reno, and so I went up to Virginia City to get this picture. And I said, oh, yeah, I guess it does, yeah. And so I live in Hot Springs, South Dakota now, and this was Crazy Horse's winter camp. And there's a hill. I mean, there's Black Hills, of course. Well, not of course, because nobody maybe out there knows that Hot Springs is right on the edge of the Black Hills. And so from Hot Springs, you go, what would that be, west, I guess, west, up over a hill, and then there's a great big valley, and that's where all the buffalo used to roam. So anyway, that's why he was here, and the hot springs are 87 degrees all the way around, all year round, and it flows through Hot Springs, the town of Hot Springs, right in the middle of it. And so for thousands of years, the Lakota, Cheyenne, even the Apache learned about this place, and they would come and heal themselves in these hot springs. Mm-hmm. So that's, and I'm told to move wherever I'm told to move, and I do that without any question. And so I was told to move.
Yeah. How long have you had this communication with your ancestors? How did you develop that? Or was it always kind of, an innate gift that you received? Because you're also a shaman. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I don't know if a person develops it. It's in the blood, and so I've always, as a little kid, as a child, I have had communication.
Okay, so you've had that inner knowing. And then how did you become a shaman? How did you get to being a shaman?
Well, a shaman is a person that listens to their ancestors and sometimes can see them, and then when they speak, then all the time you hear them, and but they don't show themselves often to me, And so the shaman is a different than a medicine man. A medicine man is learns from the women all the medicine, and the shaman are the people that know and are taught by, and the knowledge and the wisdom from the ancestors, and that's a shaman.
Okay. So as a so that's also kind of innate as well for you. How did you find out that for sure you could do the things that the shamans actually do? It just was a natural progression of your development, spiritual development.
Yes, because you don't want a person, you, me, anybody, doesn't want to all of a sudden say or think or any of that, that they are a shaman, and I don't consider myself a shaman. I'm just a person that has a gift and from the Creator, and very humble about it. And I have found out, learned, the more humble you are, the more they come to you.
That's beautiful. So how do you practice what we call, so is shamanism basically, when we listen or hear about shamans, they're usually part of tribes. They're part of the indigenous, cultures. So that this is worldwide, right? So there are many shamans, like for example, in the United States, coming from different tribes per se, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And they could, with their language, with their verbiage, wordage, whatever, they could be called something else. But all over the world, even Australia, New Zealand, the Maori in New Zealand, and the Australia Aboriginal people. Every indigenous tribe, nation, they do have shaman, yes.
So what is it that makes you a shaman, and like myself or other people that are not indigenous to the earth, we don't usually go that route in terms of our spiritual development. So I guess, what is it within that really makes one a shaman? Is that, am I asking the right question? I don't know. I'm trying to say. Why can't I be right? Go ahead.
It's simple. It's in the blood. The blood knows.
Okay.
The blood knows. The blood knows who you are. The DNA of who you are knows. And that's about as simple as I can make it.
Okay. All right. Now, let me just kind of move forward a little bit, Zaraya. Thank you. So the last time we spoke and you weren't able to come on our call, Billy we were talking a little bit about the people. Zaraya, tell me, the Skywalkers, or what are they called again?
Oh, skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers. You're right.
Yeah. I want to back up a little bit. My mom was Swedish. My dad is Lakota, and I always knew that Lakota blood was stronger than the Swedish blood. So I mean, it's a feeling, not really a knowing, but a feeling. And so that's the side that I drifted on. And then Crazy Horse was Lakota, and his real father, he didn't know him. And because his real father was a trapper, trader, somebody, and I believe Scandinavian, because I have seen Crazy Horse's hair. It's in a medicine, not an effigy, but it's a piece of medicine, and so I know the man that has all of Crazy Horse's medicine. They're medicine brags, and they're little. Some of them are little people, and so this one had his hair in this medicine piece that Chips made everything for Crazy Horse, all the medicine for Crazy Horse, and Buffalo Horn Chips was his name, and so he made this little guy, and he had hair, and Larry Baylitz is the guy that has this hair, or these medicine pieces that Crazy Horse wore them all. He wore all of them during his battles, which was 22 battles. And anyway, so I said, "Whose hair is this?" And he said, "Well, that's Crazy Horse's." Looked like mine, because it wasn't coarse. It was fine, very fine hair, and the color of my hair. So anyway, I wanted to say that about, I wanted to back up about some things. So we call them shapeshifters. I mean, they're not skinwalkers, but they're shapeshifters. And to receive my name, Proud Eagle, I shapeshifted into a bald eagle. And that was quite interesting.
Well, tell us about that. Tell us about that, if you will, Stuart. That's pretty close to me. What I can tell you is that as I was being or becoming a bald eagle, I knew if I had 1 ounce of fear or doubt in my mind, in my spirit, that all of that would go away. So I completely transformed, I think I could call that transformed my thinking and my feeling into, I'm going to go through this. I got to see this through, because this has never happened before. And so I made sure that I was humble, and I was wanting this to happen, and the humility along with that. That's all you get. So, okay. No, if we could just stay right there. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because I think people were wondering, well, how do you shapeshift, right? And we've heard about that all the time. We know of higher beings also that shapeshift. And I know that in some of the things that Zorra does or whatever, they can, higher beings can actually shapeshift. So you, in this physicality, are also able to, do the same thing. So shape-shifting. So can you do that at will now?
No, that was the first and last. That was the first and last time, because it wasn't. It wasn't from me. It was from the Creator that wanted me to go through this to receive my name, and I always thought about my name. I thought, Proud. Come on, really, Proud Eagle, and it's Wang Li Inta. Is Wang Li is eagle, and Inta is proud. And so
beautiful.
And so I asked a woman. I met this woman through her husband, and I asked her. I said, "Well, you teach Lakota language at the college, and so you come across a lot of elders." And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Can you ask them about my name?" And she said, "Oh, sure. In about 3 weeks, every 3 weeks I go see these old Lakota man and woman. They're married, and I don't know, they were 90 or in their 90s." And she said, when I go and sit down with them, they speak the old language, and I have to ask them, what did they just say? Because the old language is a lot different than the reservation language, the kind of the slang sometimes. And so anyway, she called me and she said, "Okay, this is what they told me." And I said, "What?" "I'm ready." She said, "Well, the ancestors that are living and the ones on the other side are proud of you because you are strong enough to carry the name of an eagle."
Wow. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful, Stuart.
Well, thank you. That only took me about 30 years to find out that.
Wow. It is a path of awakening, right?
Yes. My father just gave me a message for you. Stuart, my father just said that you have the capability still within you. You just have to concentrate and meditate long enough, and the best way to do it, here you go, to go into a sweat lodge.
Oh, well, I've been to many sweat lodges. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I at the same time, let me, if you're finished, then I can tell you about this.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, when I go into a sweat lodge, I'm not me, and I performed something on stage for, I don't know, a couple years, and it was called The Return of Crazy Horse, and I became him. I became him on stage before I got on stage, and and every time somebody would give me a microphone, and I go, "What the heck is this thing?" In my mind, I'd go and then I'd speak in it, and I'm going, "Oh, okay," like Crazy Horse would do in the 1800s, and people that knew me that saw this performance on stage, they said, "You walk differently, your mannerisms differently, your voice is different." And I said, "Well, I'm not me." So if you want to call that shape-shifting, yes. Yeah. And so when I go into a sweat lodge, I'm not me that goes
You're
in
not
there.
you. Right, exactly.
And
that's powerful.
So, yeah. And Floyd Westerman, he was 10 Bears and Dancing with Wolves. Well, I was his firekeeper, and that means for 7.5 years. And so that means that I would get to this where the sweat lodge was or is, and make a fire, put the rocks on the fire, and get all the rocks hot for the sweat lodge. And so I was about an hour and a half early. He would call me, and he'd always call me, 6 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? I said, you woke me up, Floyd. Well, we got a sweat today, and I said, okay. Can you get up there in a half an hour? And I said, okay. I'm in Burbank, and you know I live in Burbank, and the sweat lodge is in where was it? What's the name of that place? Not Beverly Hills. Malibu. And so anyway, I said, no, I can't get there in a half an hour. He said, okay. When you going to get there? And I told him, and so he would call everybody and say, okay, we got a sweat going on, and this is what time we'd like to have you there. So that's me, Sweat Lodge, Floyd Westerman, all that.
Beautiful.
Kind of
Thank
weird
you for
to
that.
have all those. Yeah, kind of weird to have all those billionaires around you, and you're doing a sweat lodge. Yeah, it was. And Max Scale had the sweat lodge. He was the blonde guy in Barney Miller, and very nice man. And anyway, there you go.
Okay, so
tell them. May I say something now?
Of course.
Tell them what episode you were in with Murder, She Wrote, where you played a sheriff.
Yeah, that was Sheriff Jim Sunrise. I'm supposed to be a Navajo guy, but anyway, that was an interesting time. That was my last job, my acting job, and it was her last Murder, She Wrote. It was a 2-hour movie a week, and I was in the last hour because she had to get to the Southwest. And I had a bunion, and I had it operated on 4.5 hours. I had 3 pins in my titanium pins in my toe, and so my agent called me up and said, we're having some sides sent over to you tonight, and you've got a 9:15 appointment at Universal Studios. And I hadn't had a shoe on. Not a shoe, not nothing. I hadn't walked on my foot for 2 weeks. So I got the sides. Sides are the piece of the script that you're going to read for the casting director, producers, whoever. So I didn't know who I was going to meet. And so I got ready that next morning and put a tennis shoe on, and I got to Universal Studios, parked my car, and I have to walk. I bet you that was a mile. I bet you it was a mile.
Wow.
to where I had to audition. So my foot's throbbing. I mean, it is throbbing. And I sign in, and there's a guy in there before me, and I'm the second guy in. So I walk in, and this iconic casting director, Lynn Stallmaster. I mean, this guy's iconic. And he said, "Hey, Stuart, how you doing?" I said, "Oh, hi." I had met him one time before. He'd seen my picture, and he wanted to just sit down meeting with me. That was 5 years ago. I mean, it was 5 years. And then I saw him again 5 years later. See, and I said, "Hi, Lynn," and he says, "Hi," and Angela Lansbury's husband was a producer, and he's standing there, and we shake hands and everything. And so I'm auditioning. He's reading, the casting director, Lynn Stallmaster's reading with me, and so my dyslexia. So when I'm really tired or I'm hurting, my dyslexia kicks in. So I said the line backwards. The line was I don't ask and they don't tell, and I switched it. They don't tell and I don't ask, and I'm looking out the window at this area that is described in the script, and I'm not looking at producer or Lynn Stallmaster or anything. I'm looking out the window, and I say that line, and without hesitation, I said, or I don't ask and they don't tell. They thought that was so funny because I knew that right when I finished that line, I knew that I had done that dyslexia thing and make it backwards, and I didn't I go up, which means I didn't come out of character. And so I get on the set. My agent calls and, okay, you got the job and everything. And so I get on the set, and Angela Lansbury meets me, and she looks me over. She's looking at my face. And she's real close to me. I couldn't figure, and she's tall. She's really, she's in those little heels that she wears all the time. She's got to be 5'9". She's tall. Uh-huh. And so she's looking at me really close, and I'm going, look at what she's doing. And so I thought, well, big iconic people, they get kind of the actors, me, whoever, get flustered and they can't say their lines. Maybe that's what he was doing. I never did ask him. But anyway, he comes up to me and he says, we wanted you at 9:20 in the morning, and we had to wait and read audition until 4:00 that afternoon, and we wanted you. So I had the job right off the bat.
Beautiful.
And I was but when I walked in with no pins. I mean, I didn't feel any pins, titanium pins in my toe. I didn't feel the aching. I didn't feel anything. I just got into character and did it. So, and that was the last job I had. So
what was the name of that episode?
South by Southwest.
South by
and
Southwest.
Cary Grant did North by Northwest, and Stuart Grant did South by Southwest.
Very good. All right, because everybody's going to be looking that up today, Stuart.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
yeah,
South by
too.
Southwest. Right, and Billy too. So you're going to grow your fans here, Stuart. I have a couple more questions before we let you go, and talking a little bit more. So one of the things and one of the reasons why we wanted to bring you here is we wanted people to understand a little bit more about Native Americans. So, there are so many that they know that they are part Cherokee, that they are part this or whatever, Apache, whatever the tribe is. So what would your ancestors, talking about your ancestors. So what would you're the ancestors of all, would like to say to all of those that understand and know that they are either Native American descent or that they have a portion of who they are in their blood as being Native American?
Well, that's interesting. In 1984, I was having, and this is answering your question, I was having lunch with Oren Lyons. You can Google him, and he speaks a lot on YouTube. And I don't know if he's still alive, but anyway, I mean, he was old then in 1984. And so anyway, I sit there and I said, "Can I ask you a question?" He said, "Yeah, go ahead, whatever you want." And I said, "Well, I'm half Swedish and half Lakota." And he goes, "Yes." And I said, "Well, my heart, my spirit is Lakota." And he goes, "Well, that's interesting." He says, "I was 3 years old, and I was sitting in my grandpa's lap, and I asked him about, us and who we are, and Oren is the chief of what tribe is that? Up in New York, not Ojibwe, one of those up there." And he's their chief of that nation. And so anyway, he's 3 years old. He's sitting in his grandpa's lap, and he's talking about this and that and everything. I mean, his grandpa was, and his grandpa, he says, he looked up and to the ceiling and looked down at me, and he said, "Remember this. If you don't remember anything that I told you today, remember this one." He said, "A drop of Indian blood goes a long way."
That's a great one. So everybody, So that connection, it doesn't matter whether it's just a drop. That's a lot. It's a lot, right?
Yeah,
a drop. A long way in terms of your ancestors.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's flowing through your veins.
Yeah. Right.
What?
So, all right. So now that you are directly, I mean, do you have like a full knowing? Well, obviously you have a full knowing now that you are Crazy Horse from way back when, right? Do you find that personality is coming out more and more in terms of who you are and remembering more and more of his memories?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah. And so what is your excuse me, Stuart. So why here, why now for you being Crazy Horse at this time of existence?
Well, they wanted, my ancestors wanted me to write this script. Well, Crazy Horse did, and in 1994 he all of the history books have got it wrong. And so he was tired of the lies of 100 and some years, 130, 140 years of well, I can say lies, but the untruths about him, about how he lived, who he was, who the Lakota people are, what they saw, what they endured, and some of these scenes. I was writing a scene a month ago, and I had to stop because I'm still feeling it. I started crying, and I couldn't see because I write longhand, and then I have a typist that's going to type what I've rewritten. And so after 28 over 28 years. It's going to be 29 March 27th. It'll be 29 years that I've been working on this. And so
wow.
I stopped and laid down, and I thought, wow, it's still inside me. It still it gets to me because I'm looking at the scene, because that's how I write. I see the scene in my head, and then I go, okay, how am I going to write this thing? And so it's all visual. And so when people read it, they go, oh yeah, I was there. Oh, you read it. So one of the script. And so you know how to write. It's visual.
So that's
did I answer the question? I don't know if I did or not.
Yes. Oh, no. Well, I have a little bit more to that. So the book or the script that you're writing will actually be a book as well to sell.
Well, people, I don't know if it's going to be a book.
You don't know.
I don't know how to write a book, but
sounds like you are.
It's so visual. It could be a book. Yeah, easy.
Of course.
Sure.
Of course. Yeah, you should. Yeah, because a lot of books right now become a movie.
Right.
Right? Yes, so it would be beautiful. Yes. We can't wait for you to be able to do that. Could you go backwards a little bit? How do you spell Oren Lyons? It's Lyons, Lyons, right? Go ahead.
Yes, Lyons, yeah, Oren.
And the first name is, how do you spell that one? Oren?
Oren, O-R-E-N.
Oh, Ian. Okay, got it. All right, very good. Okay, so everybody can kind of look him up and go to YouTube and find out more about his information. And because I think a lot of people really want to be able to connect with their descendants, ancestors.
Yeah, and
so it'd be really, really great.
Also, a Lakota man that's no longer here on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Wallace Black Elk.
Excuse me. How do you, Wallace Blackout?
Black Elk.
Oh, Black Elk. Okay. And how do we find him? Or in the books or in the internet?
Yeah, just, Google him. And he has a lot to say also. His grandfather, not great-grandfather, grandfather rode with Crazy Horse in the Battle of Little Bighorn.
Wow.
His grandfather was 12 years old. And Crazy Horse led the Suicide Boys, is what they called them. And from 12 to 15 years old, those are the boys he led. Crazy Horse led into that battle.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh yeah, you're going to see
I think
a lot more.
Cry during that. Yeah.
Well, see what happened. What happened is the reason why I'm opening this script up, and I got to tell you this one. Our governor, Kristi Noem, she. I mean, I don't know why I said he. She has lived on the same cattle ranch for 4 generations. I mean, her family has. And so she likes the South Dakota history. She's going to put it mandatory in all the schools next year, even in the reservation schools, that history, the South Dakota history, is taught to children.
Wow.
So they know where they came from. And so I thought, oh my gosh. And I thought, well, this is a great learning tool. And so I went from page 1. And so, for an example, Crazy Horse at 3 years old saw the Oregon Trail and what it really looked like. And the audience is going to even smell this. It's going to be so visual. It's not going to be
beautiful.
fun to watch. I mean, yeah, because you know, 1,000 wagons. You know, how many people have died? You know, along the trail, and all the oxen and the mules and the horses and the carcasses and the clothes and the, you know, everything that they took. Well, it weighed a lot, and so they had to throw it out. So the Oregon Trail looked like it was a mess. It really was. And so anyway, so I opened that up, the Oregon Trail. I opened up the trains when it started in Omaha, Nebraska, and coming across into South Dakota all the way to Sacramento, to Utah, and then from Sacramento to Utah, that train met. But anyway, all of how that looked, and
beautiful.
You know, what he saw. So here is a child that's being born. It's the life of Crazy Horse. So here's a child being born, and you're going to see that, and then you're going to see him take his first step, and he's maybe 8 months old or so, and then you're going to see him at 1.5 years. Then you're going to see him at 3 years old. Then you're going to see him about 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old, and then you're going to see him as a teenager. Then you're going to see him as a 20-ish, 18 to 20-year-old boy becoming a man, and then you're going to see me.
Beautiful.
I'll be at the end. I'll be at the end of the movie. About 60 pages into it, which is an hour. Well, I don't write. It's supposed to be a minute a page on screen, and I don't write that way. It could be 5 or 6 minutes on screen. So anyway, 60 to 70 pages I'll be in there, and so I'll be in the Battle of Little Bighorn and all the way to a premeditated murder of Crazy Horse at Fort Robinson.
Yeah. Wow.
And I do have Fort Robinson. I've been told that I could shoot there at Fort Robinson.
Really? Great.
Yeah.
You've hold on one second, Stuart. Billy, you've got to take yourself off of mute because you're not on mute.
I'm not on mute. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Yes, I can
course.
hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Stuart, I have one question for you on the movie Murder, She Wrote, South by Southwest. What was the sheriff's name?
Oh, what's my character's name?
Yeah.
Sheriff Jim Sunrise. But they don't even have sheriff. I'm going, what? You know, it's just Stuart Grant is Jim Sunrise. And I'm going, I'm a sheriff, you know. So anyway, Jim Sunrise.
Okay, very good. A couple more questions for you, Stuart. So I know that you can communicate with your ancestors. And sometimes you also give, you know, when we talk with you or when Billy talks with you, you can give him some information in regards to what is happening currently in the world. So a couple of questions that usually arise is where do you stand? Where do your ancestors stand when you ask them about the RV and the economy?
Oh, well, I don't ask them; they just come.
Okay,
so
wonderful.
I can tell you this. A few days ago, let's see, how am I going to say this? Breathe easy in the month of February, because we ain't going to see nothing. It'll be spring. We won't go into exchange until spring. At this particular time.
Okay, but anything can change, right?
As of 2 days ago, That's what was told to me. Not until spring.
Ah. And they're usually pretty correct, right?
Never lied to me yet, and never will. They're just like the creator. They're just like the creator, you know.
Right.
You
right.
know,
and they're not going to give any particular dates, specific dates, right?
Never.
Never, because they're not in time. Okay, we get it.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, there's on the other side, there's no time. We invented
Correct.
time.
Right.
Yeah, so there's no time over there. So it's 4 seasons. That's what they know. It's 4 seasons.
Oh, nice and simple. 4 seasons. Okay, very good. I'll tell you that this conversation with you has been enormously enlightening as well as educational for so many of us.
Wow,
we
thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it was really profound, Stuart. So,
thank you.
I guess one other question I have is, you know, since you've been a part of the Hollywood scene for so many years and connections, et cetera, and we know so many have been a part also of the devious cabal, you know, in terms of taking advantage of, you know, whatever, human trafficking and all of this stuff. So tell us a little bit,
adrenochrome and all that,
if you can. Yeah, tell us a little bit, just kind of in a nutshell, what is happening in that world and the people there.
Well,
what's
really interesting is what's really interesting. I just found out about adrenochrome a couple of years ago. I didn't know about it then.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, when you're and I look back on everybody that I acted with. I was kept away. I can say that I was kept away from that, and so one morning I had just done a jewelry show in Mojave, the city of Mojave, and I woke up to get myself ready to go back to Burbank, where I lived. And so this was 4:00 in the morning. I was woken up, and you know, may we talk to you? And I said, sure. You know, go ahead. Yeah, you may. And nothing. So I thought, well, I'll take a bath. Usually, you know, the water spirits will help me get some information here. So took a bath, nothing. I thought, shoot, I'm going back. I mean, because I thought it was 7, 8 o'clock in the morning when I was up. And so I went back and laid down, and they said, you're leaving. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I'm leaving what? You're leaving your career. And I said to him, I said, I never ask why. Today, I'm asking why. This is a career. I'm climbing the ladder very fast. I'm finally making some really, really good money. And you got to tell me why. And this voice said, you can't write a script. Oh, wait, you can't write a spiritual script in the energy that you are in. And I said, that's all I need. That's all I needed to know. I got back to Burbank, started getting boxes, went to the market, got boxes, came back, started packing. That was it. I didn't even tell my agent that I left. So I left. And so I was thinking about everything one night in bed. And I thought to myself, I don't even believe all the people and everything that I've done. I don't even believe it. You got to be kidding me. Because I rewound my life in my head. And being a visual, I visualize all the people I met and all the things that I've done and this and that and everything. And I thought to myself, I had about 2 years left before, not left, 2 years before I would become an A-list actor. I figured about 2 years. And I thought, that's when they would have come to me. That's when they would have come to me. That's the time. Because it's a satanic group of people that I've found out later. Just the last couple of years, a satanic group. People that I didn't work with. I don't know about Matt Damon because he was in Geronimo with me. His Star trailer was right next to my Star trailer. So anyway, and we talked a lot and everything, and but I don't know. That's the only person I don't know about. Anyway, that's now I know after 20 years ago when they told me to leave. Now I know why they told me to leave.
Wow.
They would have come to me and I would have said no, and they would have whacked me. I would have been whacked.
I don't know what that would have meant for you, but we definitely don't want you whacked. You still got work to do.
They would have.
Okay. So,
well, they would have killed me. They would have killed me because I got a big mouth.
Oh,
and
wow. Okay. So going forward now, what do you see in terms of, do you see that more than half of the people that are there are already gone? That needed to be,
a friend of mine just told me that there was a list of 276 or something like that, of people, A-list actors. And a person, do adrenochrome, that's crimes against humanity, that's a noose. You get hung for that. And so that's why I said I don't know about Matt Damon, because his best friend was Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck was very, very close with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And the Muslim that was hired to be our president. A Muslim? Muslims hate Americans. Anyway, so without being
say that again.
I got to get away.
What did you just say?
Get away from politics here. Anyway, so
no. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, Stuart. What did you just say about Clinton and all in reference to Ben Affleck? Could you repeat what you just said? I don't think I heard it all.
Oh, yeah. Matt Damon,
right,
went to grade school with Ben Affleck. They were in a movie together, and I think they were 14 years old, and they wrote Good Will Hunting together. They got an Academy Award together.
Yes.
And you can't get an Academy Award unless you're a part of that club.
You also knew
interesting,
John
right?
I know Gary Busey. He was blacklisted, and in the Buddy Holly story, he was nominated.
Yeah.
He didn't get the Academy Award. He wasn't that part of that club.
Wow.
That's what I think.
That is a big.
That's what I think. Unless you're Milky, that got a Golden Globe and an Academy Award for being Freddie Mercury. He was too good, and I don't think he's part of that group. And I don't think Jamie Foxx is part of that group. But they were just too good. They were just too good.
Yeah.
Not to get the Academy Award, Golden Globe and Academy Award.
Jeez. Okay. All right. Okay, so what do you see the future in terms of Hollywood, and so that you can finally put together that movie and or book? When
What's
do you
the
see
question?
that coming? When are you going to go back to Hollywood or wherever you're going to put this all together for yourself?
Oh no, I'm. This is all me. This is no. I'm not going to have. I mean, producers, yeah.
You're not. Yeah, but you're not going to go back to Hollywood, right? Hollywood is going to be completely wiped out, right?
Well, to do the casting, I have to.
Yeah. Oh, you have
because,
to go back there. Okay.
Yeah, I have to do the casting. A DP, a director of photography, an editor, which I know one that's really very, very good. Not part of that group, but got an Academy Award.
Okay.
And so anyway, that's, and then come back here to South Dakota and shoot it. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Amazing. All right. This has been an amazing call with you. Right. I'm glad that you're going to go forward with everything that you've been doing. I mean, there's a base. That's a huge, huge mission, I have to say, because you're going to really bring all of this information out. And you, as representative of all of the Indian tribes and indigenous people that we have in the world, it's been so suppressed. It's always, the communities have been really, in a poor situation still. So you are going to bring that light back to the world.
Well, the thing is that we need a real life hero, not just indigenous people, but all people. And
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, to where they can see themselves through Crazy Horse or through the Lakota Nation or the Cheyenne Nation or any nation. And people have asked me. They've said, this is so huge. Aren't you overwhelmed? And I said, no, I'm not. because when, and this is what I tell people. I said, when you breathe life into something, it has its own heart, its own legs, and it knows where to go and when. That's what I tell people.
Beautiful.
And you just shoot one scene at a time. Not all of them, but just one scene at a time.
Okay. One last question for you, Stuart.
And so it's not overwhelming for me.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Last thing, we know that you make some beautiful jewelry. And are you still making them to be able to sell to people anywhere?
Yeah, I'm on a website. I don't know if
what's the website so people can go there? I know. I'm sorry, Stuart. Tell us your website so everybody can hear.
Let me get Natalie's card. She's out of Ohio, and let me get her card.
Okay.
And then I can tell you exactly where to go.
And this is where they can get your jewelry, right?
Yeah. Well, a lot of natives are on that site.
Okay. So how do we find you there?
Hold on. I'm still working at it here.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm turning on the light here. So, okay. It is. Everybody got a pen? It is 7 Council Fires Native. It's
spelled out, right? 7.
Yeah.
Council?
Yeah. And so so the website is www.7fires, and it's spelled out, 7fires.
Okay, hold on
Yeah, 7firesart.com.
Okay, so it's SEVENFIRE art.com. 7 Fires Art. With an S. Firesart.com. And then when they go there, they'll see your name, Stuart Grant Jewelry.
I think it's under Stuart Proud Eagle Grant. I think.
Oh, that's beautiful. So it's under Proud Stuart, right? Grant.
No, Stuart,
Proud-
Stuart,
Oh, Stuart.
Proud
Right.
Eagle Grant.
Oh, Proud Eagle. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
then if you want to know about movies and what I've done, that's IMDb, and that's Stuart Proud Eagle Grant also.
It's still underneath. It's still under Natalie's website.
What? What's that?
For the videos or your.
What,
did you say videos? The movies? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a different website, and it's IMDb. IMDb, and then that's just the movies and the movies made for television, and so my voiceovers aren't on there. Some television shows I did aren't on there. It's just movies.
Oh. Okay, so I like igloo, M like Mary, D like David, B like boy. IMDb.com?
Yeah. Ivan, Mary, David, Bob. And then there's a picture of me with Angela Lansbury on there. And then there's a picture of me in Switchback with Danny Glover and Dennis Quaid. I think those are the pictures that are there. I'm not really sure.
Are we going to have? Oh, we're going to see it. Okay. So, all right. So it's imdb.com, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think
well,
like I said, I don't look myself up. People look me up and they go, "Hey, your picture's on there," you know.
Now, okay, all right. Well, it's been quite more than an hour already, I think, and talking with you today, it's been really fabulous, and you are such a great spirit. We all thank you for being here on our call, and I'll give Zaraya. Did you have anything else you'd like to add? And we're going to go ahead and let Stuart go for now.
I'm having a hard time pulling up that that movie and to order it. But
okay.
I'm trying to figure out where I have to order it at.
It's through Universal Studios, but it's being played on the Hallmark channel. I guess Hallmark got it. I'm really not sure. But my residual checks come from Universal, so I don't know.
Okay. All right.
But Universal Studios.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let Billy continue on her search, and if we have any questions, Zaraya Billy will give you a buzz. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and let you go. And thank you again so much for this wonderful call that we had with you. Thank you. We'll stay in touch.
Thank you.
Okay, we love you.
Fun.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Stuart. All right. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Okay. All right, everybody. Now, we have about a few minutes. Yeah, we've got about 45 minutes, and let's go ahead and bring Zorra through. Zaraya? Zaraya, hello?
Beloved gods and goddesses.
How good. I'm so glad. Yeah. Thank you, Zorra. I thought maybe Zaraya was going to continue working on her search, and we certainly didn't want to miss having an opportunity to be able to speak with you today, too. So, what would you like to say in regards to, Stuart Grant right now, and then we're going to ask for your message for today.
Well, as my beloved daughter told Stuart Grant that he can still shapeshift if he desired to, that is still a reality for everyone who wishes to shapeshift. You have to do what is termed as to get your mind in the right state of mind. So what you do is you go into a deep meditation. I would say fast for about 3 or 4 days first, then go into meditation. Your goal is for shape-shifting, and that's what you do. You just literally empty your brain of all the corruption that you've been listening to and become quiet and become very still and with only one thought to shapeshift, and then pick what animal you wish to shapeshift into. And of course, with you, if your mindset is proper, along with your heart mind, then you're definitely going to be able to achieve what you have set out to do. Everyone can shapeshift, but they just have to be committed to do it.
Hey, Zorra?
Yes?
Yeah, so even though it's, everything that you share with us comes from a place of a higher frequency, and when we take that to heart in terms of what you say, I'm sure that we could do it. However, it's still, again, about being able to raise your frequency high enough to be able to do that. And, of course, part of it is the physicality in terms of the hindrances sometimes.
That was what I said.
Yeah. So, right. So, all right, everybody.
You must be totally committed to do it. You must be totally committed in order to do it.
Yeah. You have to be at a higher frequency in order to be able to do that. And so it really actually begins with understanding how you can do that, which Zorra already has explained. But if we want to put that into baby steps, the baby steps are still about going within and letting go of the outside world. When you can go within and this world is no longer there, then you can begin your communication and being able to shapeshift, to be able to be in connection with your higher self or ancestors. In the case of Stuart, it's really all about leaving behind what you know in 3D and moving higher from that point of view in terms of frequency. We're not talking about higher going to a different world or higher in terms of going to a different planet or elsewhere. It's all done from within the body that you share because it has all those different memories. Okay. So thank you so much for that. So Zorra, what would you like to share before I begin with my questions for you?
Go ahead with your questions.
Okay. So according to what Stuart said, and he communicated with his ancestors, and the ancestors had already informed him that to breathe easy in February, because what we want and we're planning on is not going to, and I know it's already mid-September as far as I'm concerned, that February is not the season in which we receive the RV. He said it's going to be in spring. So we have had enormous amounts of information coming through from various websites and from various people, that it can come at any moment. Correct. So where would you, so I guess, so you're saying it could still come at any moment, depending on what?
Depending on what?
Right. I mean, if it can come at any moment, it could come now, right? And it could come in spring, right? Okay, so if so, there's something that has to happen, or there's something that is still hindering it in order to be able to get to the now.
It is what is termed as the free will of the people who are trying to prevent it.
So you're talking about the masses of people.
It will not be prevented. It's going to occur no matter what. It's just a matter of timing.
And the timing has much to do with everyone's frequency and
all that. Yes.
And letting go and really completely done without any doubt, right? And do it now.
Think of it as in past tense. Yes.
Yeah, that it's already finished, right? It's done, right? So it's basically the same thing also when we really talk about moving into higher levels of consciousness and frequencies, is that one really has to, without any doubt, without any fear, without anything that gets in the way, that it is completely finished. That's how you move into higher levels of consciousness and frequencies and manifest. Well, we don't like the word manifest, but recalibration of frequencies in order for all of this to occur.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead with our first caller. All right. So our first caller is 719 ending in 0341.
Yes, Burl.
Hello.
This is Lorraine. Hi, can you hear me?
I'm sorry.
This is
Yes.
Lorraine in Monument, Colorado.
Okay. Hello, Lorraine.
I'm interested in the mid-beds or versus the celestial chamber. I'd like to know the difference. Is it something we can do more than once? So thank you.
You should not need to do it more than once.
I wasn't certain.
Should be enough.
One should be enough. Okay, is the celestial chamber the one I should do rather than the mid-bed?
They're the same. It's just different names.
They're one and the same, different names.
Okay, so they would simply take my DNA and I would reverse in age to whatever age I wanted?
Yes.
What would be the perfect age, Zorra?
That's up to you.
Okay.
That would be totally up to you as to what age you would prefer to be. Because remember, when you go through the chamber and you are reversed in age, you still retain all of your memories, thought patterns, and things of this nature that you had before you went in. However, understand, so you're going to be a young woman with an adult understanding. So it's up to you as to what age you wish to be.
Okay.
And
I am.
You want to retain.
I am a mother. I have great grandchildren. I think I'm satisfied with the family I have. Is there some way I could keep from having more children?
When you program, when the celestial chamber is programmed, you stipulate you do not want to have children, and it will proceed accordingly. So you will not have the ability to have children, but it's up to you.
Well, I love children, but they're a lot of work, and so I thought perhaps I'd done my share.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Lorraine.
You understand that all the children being born now are fifth density children. So they are extremely intelligent, very smart, and of course even the parents are astonished that the child is at 1 year old.
Okay, so
or even before that.
Okay, so I let, Lorraine, you're no longer open. So I think that Zorra has answered your question. I think I would like to ask Zorra, while we're talking about the celestial or the med beds, it's either one in terms of, I think, anyways, from everybody else's point of view, celestial chambers or med beds, it's one and the same. However, one of the key things is when you're talking a little bit about the different ones, is that's the one that you will be moving to. Again, it's all dependent on you. I mean, this is really the time for all of us to to be sovereign, to be the highest of knowing what you want from within, and nobody else can do that for you. Whether you want to shapeshift, whether or not you want to work on a project, that is not up to Zorra to tell you. It's not up to us to tell you. It's up to you in terms of what that passion and desire is from within. So it's all about going in, again, doing the inside work for yourself. Okay, now talking about the med beds and the celestial chambers, however way you want to call it, Zorra. So now we also have this wave of coming from the rainbow wave, whatever you want to call that also. Why would we want to? We could wait for the galactic and the rainbow waves and still get everything done, whether it's the Arcturian shifts that are going to come to heal the body. Why wait? I mean, or we could just go and wait for the med beds. So what do you decide? What are your feelings on those two areas? You know, either wait for the med beds to do it and do it then, or wait for the rainbow waves, or wait for the Arcturian ships. Those are the three items in which people can be healed. So what would be your suggestion for people, generally speaking, Zorra?
Well, upon what after what is occurs called the galactic disclosure, then the doors will be open for the Arcturian ships to decloak. And of course, when they do that, they will be sending out a healing wave that will engulf the planet and will be healing multiple people at the same time. If you wish not to wait for that event, then of course you can attempt with the med beds or celestial chambers, whichever you wish to call them, prior to that.
Okay.
There is a system out right now. It is called the EESE system.
Right.
And it is off-world technology, and it will assist in the healing of your body. It will not, what you could term as reverse your age back to an earlier age. You will have to wait for the celestial chambers that will be issued after galactic disclosure for that to
so when
be
Zorra talks,
seen.
So when Zorra talks about celestial chambers,
unless you were able to have access to the one at Area 51.
Okay, thank you, Zorra. All right, so that's it. So anytime we talk about med beds, it's the same thing in terms of referencing the celestial chambers. Okay, the reason why celestial chambers is because it's just more celestial and it's off-world. Instead of saying med beds, that always is. We're talking about 3D stuff, which they aren't anyways. All of the med beds are all going to be off-world technology when they finally come out, and they will all come out for all of us around the world. Okay, all right. And the people that need to go there first anyways are the ones that have difficulties, and they will be chosen first to be able to go in. If you have missing limbs or whether you have, some very debilitating diseases or illnesses, those people will be going in first. But so anyways, all is good. That's all part of the new world that's coming. So that's really great. So we'll go on to the next caller. Thank you, Lorraine, for your question. And now we have, hold on a second. That's 562 ending in 3425. 562
Hi,
ending
Zorra.
in 3425.
Hi, Zorra. It's Cindy Taylor. And hello, Jane.
Hello.
Okay.
I have a
Hello.
problem. My phone is being hacked, and I've had my ID stolen from me. I've had my money stolen from me. The first guy started it in October. He said it was a security issue, and he said he helped me, and he was the one that was stealing from me. So then about a month ago, this other guy called up, and he said there are 4 people with your name on Skype, and I don't even use Skype. And he says, if you'll let me, I'll help you. So it involves money paying to help me with this. The company is TechNet, and he's been helping me. And he said they stole my IB address. So in my attempt, I bought NordVPN to protect my IP address. And he said now that opened the door, and now there are other countries, and I have a new IP address, and people are going into the system. So I'm in trouble. I need to have these people out of my phone and protect my identity and to get out of my phone. I need help. Could you please eliminate these people that are stealing my IP address that still hasn't been secured yet? And I'm in trouble because if I go to the Redemption Center...
Do not eliminate anyone.
I can't hear you. What?
You do not eliminate anyone.
You just have to stop what you're doing with any one of them.
What about this man, Edward, that's helping me?
Well,
unless you know him personally and met him in person, I wouldn't trust him.
Well, then how do I stop these people? Because about a month ago, somebody took $500 out of my checking account, and I called the credit union and I said stopped it, and I had to get another debit card and stop that one. Right. And Edward said that was one of the people that was hacking you.
You will need to do the following. Understand this. Write this down.
I am.
First, you're going to need to go to the Social Security office, and you're going to need to do what is termed as to get a new Social Security number issued. Let them know the circumstances, and they will issue you a brand new security number. So, and that will stop all of that in one swoop. Now,
will that include my pension and my Social Security number?
Everything will, as far as your personal assets will be transferred over to the new number. But as far as connect with what you've been dealing with, there you will no longer have that connection with them because they will not have your Social Security number to take anything out of your bank account.
Okay. What about the credit union?
The credit union, you simply tell them it was not you, and you prove to them that it wasn't you, and they will reimburse you the money. But you need to don't go in there in a frantic mode as you are sounding presently.
Well, so I'm just telling you, I have an account there. I'll give them the new security number, and I'll have a new account with them.
Yes, they will give you a new account, and you will no longer have the issue. But understand,
what about
you must have to do your due diligence, and of course change everything on your phone. Take your phone back to factory settings and start over. But still, I'm saying, in order to do what is termed as to get your ID back, first you have to do the first thing that's most important, and that's to get you a new Social Security number. And you must have a police report to present to them to tell them what is occurring. So you'll need a police report as well. So you're going to have to do that first. Once you
I have a form for that. I have a police form to fill up.
Then you know what to do.
Me.
Then you know what to do.
Okay. So when I go to T-Mobile to fix my phone. You said manufacturer to reset the phone, and that will bring me back my IP address.
Brand new and new phone number, not the old
new phone number.
A new
okay,
phone number.
New phone number. But I can use the same phone, just a new number, correct?
Correct. Your wife.
Okay, new phone number. Okay, but I can still use my phone, just a new phone number.
Correct.
Okay.
And then don't share your number with anyone unless you know them personally.
Well, the credit union, because they know me. They know what happened to me. Okay.
I understand.
Okay.
Now you know. Now you know the steps to follow. So you go ahead and do that, and you'll be fine. First thing you do when you go into your any establishment, especially Social Security, don't go in there in a panic mode because they will not talk with you. You must be of a calm manner when you go in there. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Indeed.
Okay, thank you for your question. All right, Cindy.
Thank you.
All right, next, you're welcome. All right, our next caller now is 505, ending in 6428.
Hello, this is Richard. How you doing, Zorra?
Oh, hey! Hey! Hi, Richard. Nice to hear your voice.
Thank you. Yeah, my question is, I understand something major is going to happen a week from today at the Super Bowl, and it will push humanity forward. So I'm wondering, and there's some things leading up to that event this week starting tomorrow. So I'm just curious what you had to say about that, Zorra. Moving humanity forward with the truth movement.
Tell him who's going to be there, Richard.
Yeah, the way it's reported is that there'd be a number of people coming out from the Federal Witness Protection Program, and these would be people that have been so thought to be dead or ascended. So it'd be a real shocker for those that are not aware of what's going on. So that's the tip of the iceberg. I guess there's other things supposed to happen prior to that as well, starting tomorrow.
So what's going to be happening at Super Bowl, Zorra, that's going to push our world forward?
Wait and see.
I guess that sounds like Christmas. Wait and see. I guess we have to go through the process. Oh my gosh. Well, tell us, Zorra, is that very positive, what's coming out of the Super Bowl, or is it minute?
Say that again?
I said, is the information, the positive information coming out that is meant to come out on Super Bowl, is that something that's going to affect the world in a huge way? Which is next week.
Well, my upper source says for you to wait and see. It's not for me to say.
Oh, okay. We've heard that one before. That's interesting. So we have to wait and see what happens daily, and we'll probably get the information then. So do you see that as being very positive, though, Zorra?
Yes, I will tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's good enough for me, Richard. All right. Thank you, Zorra, for that. I guess we'll just wait and see. All right. So we'll go from there. Anything else, Richard?
Well, just is there going to be some interesting information this coming week in the truth movement coming forward?
Again?
Are there going to be revelations of truth coming out within the next 7 days that will be terrific for humanity?
There's always going to be truth coming out.
Okay, that wasn't my question.
But that's the answer.
Okay. You
right.
can push some things.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Great question, Richard. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye. All right,
Bye-bye.
Our next question is, okay, bye. The next question is coming from 606, ending in 3605. 3605.
Hello, Jane. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello. Yes, and,
Hi.
And you are?
I am Shelby, and
okay.
First time I've called in, but long time listener. I have a question for Zorra. Yes, Thank you, Zorra. I'm calling in reference to people who just could not comprehend the fourth and fifth dimension, and because I hear there's different stories out there. Now, my husband recently passed away, and he was one that believed that he was going to die and go to heaven, no matter what I tried to tell him, okay? And he had a very long illness, 10 years, so it was very difficult. We've been together 46 years. So it is concerning to me is where his soul went to, because I hear that everybody's going to go to 4D, but then I hear that those that are not, that did not embrace
they're going
the higher
dimension.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm on my cell phone. It's difficult. Please. Would you repeat that?
They're 5D, not 4D.
Okay.
Why are
you're saying? So are you saying that people that go now that that still think they're going to die and go to heaven are going to 5D, or are they going to reincarnate and go back to 3D?
No, they're going to 5D. Reincarnation has been stopped.
No more.
By source.
I had heard that, Zorra. I had heard that, okay? And that's what I thought. But then someone that and I'm not going to give any names here. And I do believe what you tell me, okay? I'm not doubting you. But someone I trust dearly and have followed for some time that's highly respected says that no, they would go back. Okay, here's what they said. They would go back to the ether, or they did go back to the ether regarding my husband. And then if they're shown the reincarnation, of coming back, and of course, we know how that goes. And they go, oh, yeah, I can do that because, they probably don't. I don't know if they go into their memory or not when they go back to the ether. Maybe they don't go back to the ether. So I guess my question is, this is what I was told, that he went back to the ether and reincarnated into a womb, which, being born as a baby again. So what I'm understanding from you, that nobody is doing that today. Now, my husband passed away on October 31st, okay, and he was cremated, but not for about four days. We waited, ample. I made sure that wait an ample amount of time before he was reincarnated. So that's my situation, and I would respect for you again to just kind of give me your opinion, please.
I'm going to ask you if you feel pressure on your right shoulder right now.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I feel a sensation, but I'm not sure. I don't feel pressure.
Well, not a heavy pressure, a very light pressure on your right shoulder. Do you feel a very slight tingling or a little bit of a minute amount of pressure? Very, very minute.
Very, very minute. Yes, like maybe like a little heaviness.
That is your husband.
Hello, Don.
Let him know that you acknowledge him, and you tell him what you wish to tell him. He's listening.
I don't want to start crying.
Crying doesn't hurt. Just talk to him, just as you would if he was still here.
I miss you very much. I would like more of these incidents to happen to confirm, maybe that will happen again. You know what I'm saying?
You would like the same. So you need to just, on a daily basis, get in your quiet place and talk with him.
I will do that. More than happy to do that. I know a couple days after he was gone, like maybe the day after, I felt a real chill in my house. Very, very chilly. And I wondered if it was him, but I was so exhausted from 30 months in the hospital. I'm sorry, go ahead.
He would not bring a chill to the home.
Okay, who does?
It would be a nice, warm feeling, not chill.
Okay, warm, yes, okay. Who does bring the chill? I've had that in my car before, too. Nobody?
Yeah,
okay.
The used car.
Okay.
There could have been a spirit from a prior owner.
Okay, but I've had the car. Okay. I won't keep you any longer. So I knew the reincarnation loop had ended. Then somebody else said yes, but they got to say no. And there's so much information out there, Zorra. It's difficult. And I kind of felt like he would at least go to the 4th, but they're going on to the 5th, even though when they pass now, as you say, because they didn't live to make the ascension, so therefore they went straight to the 5th, and they bypassed the 4th. Is that what I'm understanding correctly from you? I'm sorry?
That is so.
Well, that gives me a lot of reassurance and peace, and I will leave the call for somebody else, and I thank you very, very much, Zorra and Jane.
Indeed.
Okay.
Talk with your husband. They're with you at all times.
I'm sorry. Talk with my husband, which I will. Mm-hmm.
Yes, because he's there with you all the time.
All the time. That's what I thought in the beginning. And then that, I just got the scales taken out, because of what was told to me. And I've been very upset ever since. But I do appreciate it, and I will do that, definitely. And thank you both very much. And bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Farewell.
Oops, there we go. Okay, so just on that note, so this is to help other people as well, Zorra. So when at this particular time of existence in our realm, there is no more reincarnations.
No, there's not.
Okay. So the new beings, though, what about the new beings that are coming in as babies that are coming in 5th dimension? Where are they coming from if there's no more incarnation for the people that are existing right now? They're coming from different galaxies and universes. Is that correct?
No, these are new souls coming in.
Yeah, but new soul. Okay, you just said there's no more reincarnation.
Not reincarnated ones. Real, new, brand new souls.
That have not been recycled before, right?
Correct.
They have never been reincarnated. These are brand new births to to the family. Yeah, they have
Indeed.
never been recycled like the rest of us we've been recycled for forever. Anyway, okay. Thank you so much for that, Zorra. That was very, very, and Shelby, thank you for sharing your information as well. All right, so let's go ahead. We only have probably time for maybe a couple more calls. So here we go. Next person we have now is, let me see. Hold on. 509 ending in 1351. Hello, 1351.
Hi, Jane and Billy and Zorra. This is Sandy. How are you guys?
Oh, hi, Sandy. Good.
Hi, blessings to all of you. I had a special question that I want. I had a special question kind of off the subject of all this, actually from listening to Q yesterday, that I thought maybe Zorra could help me with. In the morning at 4, I get up the same time every morning at 4 o'clock. First thing I do is get down on my knees and ask Source for a double dose of life force. Then the second thing I do, which is the most important to me of anything, is ask for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from Source. Now my question is, after listening to Q, I realize I'm another version of that's been created. I'm very inadequate in most areas. I have limited brain capacity. What can I do to make these things that I want to have a reality?
Say that again?
What can I do so that I can obtain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from Source on an unlimited basis with my limited brain capacity?
Well, first off, understand your brain is not between your ears. It is in your heart. It is in your heart, mind.
Oh, yeah, I understand what you're saying. So this is something that if I keep praying for this can become a continual reality?
Of course.
Continue with your commands.
Okay.
And if you meditate or go into silence, or if you go out in nature, the more you can link in to the higher frequencies of nature, whether it's and drinking good filtered water, and if you have any pets, to be around them, because all of that is higher frequency already. So
right, I do that every day.
Yeah, right. Okay, very good. Well, you're on your way, but it's not about forcing something you want. See, so frequencies are kind of elusive, from our understanding. And that higher understanding that you seek, it doesn't come just because you say you want it and you want it now, right? However, when you do go within, you have to know the reality of what it is that you are seeking. So, for example, we'll go back to Stuart, right? He said, well, how did you, so that's why I asked him, I said, how is it that you were able to link in with your ancestors, right? Well, he said it was in his blood, right? And then he just went in and became, or he wanted to shape shift, right? So that was his intention, is to want to shape shift. So the things that he learned for himself was to be able to be very humble and just also to not, and when you are at that, this is the same thing with Zorra and Q. So when you are at that frequency, that where you can, for example, be able to shapeshift, or to be able to see a fairy, or to be able to, feel a crystal, all of those require a higher knowing. So what you're asking for is a higher knowing, and that takes practice. And again, knowing more and more, or even to want to be a healer. a lot of people don't know even what healing is and how to even start it. So that is the path to becoming more aware, to becoming more awakened, is going, inside work to do that. It's not so much what you verbalize. It's not so much, even if you verbalize through your heart, if your heart is not a feeling of knowing without doubt or fear or distraction, then you will definitely move in the right direction and you will feel it more and more. So you have to let go, and the more you do the opposite of that, and the more you move into the higher frequencies, and then you will learn the wisdom and remember. You will then begin to remember. And you can do that also through imagination. So that's why we all know that dreams have always been a reality, but we just don't know that. So it's linking in more and more to who you really are as that God and Goddess.
Great. Sounds perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Zorra. All right. I think this may be our last question coming in. All right. Hold on one second. Thank you so much for your question. All right, Sandy. All right. Our next caller now is coming from 450 ending in 4348.
Yes. Hello. Hi, Jane. You hear me?
We can hear you. You are?
I'm Diane in Canada. Okay. Thank you, Jane, for having
Diane.
the question about reincarnation. That was my question. Thank you very much. So I just want to say thank you, Zorra, Jane, and Zaraya. And that would be great to have a resume on Stuart Grant of all the link that we can go and learn more about what his work is about doing. Whatever, I would like to have that in the newsletter. And I want to thank I want to thank Zaraya too for reminding me that wearing our crystal around our neck helped grounding, because here it was like minus 40 Celsius, so there is no way I was going to be in the winter going to a tree. So thank you, Zaraya, for reminding us, because I was always asking myself, yeah, I know they always say that, but I'm in a northern country. I cannot do this, So thank you. I love you all, guys, and love to everyone on the call. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that's a beautiful way of saying goodbye to everyone. We are moving from carbon base to crystalline. So what does that tell you? Right? That is our connection. All right. Hey, Zorra, let's do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for everyone, please, before we end our call. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We love you, love you, love you. Okay, go ahead, Zorra.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, receive.
Oh, take a deep breath in. From the gods and goddesses of our beings, we are completely, fully aware and awakened and with higher consciousness, and we are all healed. And we absolutely know it. And so be it. Everyone have a grand, grand, beautiful day. We'll see you all very soon. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for that, Zorra. I felt that. Hopefully everyone else did too. All right. Bye-bye.